I'm missing all of you. That might have been extremely corny, but I do miss you all tremendously. But without further ado, welcome to our YouTube channel. I cracked all those jokes in class about you all being on my tutorial, and now we actually have our own channel to watch. So until we are physically back in the classroom, I will be dropping lessons every Thursday at 1 p.m. on this channel. So if you have a YouTube channel, you might want to go ahead and subscribe. That way you can get the lesson as soon as it drops, or you can just click the link that I post on Class Dojo that'll bring you right back here. Now let's go ahead and jump into today's lesson. You're lucky you don't have a raw runner challenge, but don't get comfortable. April is poetry month, so this month we'll be focusing strictly on poetry, and today these are our two learning targets, RL72 and RL75. RL72 we've touched on in class a lot. RL75 we haven't gotten that much practice on, but we're going to get practice on it today. RL72 says determine a theme or central idea of a text and analyze its development over the course of the text and provide an objective summary of the text. Now these words in yellow, these are the words we're going to break down. You have to know these words in order to master this standard. So determine, things that we talked about in class, to determine something is to figure out. So figure out a theme or a central idea of a text and analyze. When we say analyze, remember analyze is to break down. So we're going to break down its development, how it grows, how it's built over the course of the text, and provide. Provide means to give. Give an objective summary of the text. Now we know what a summary is. A summary is a basic overall look at the text, what it's about. An objective summary, that part is very critical. Objective means free of personal feelings. So that means when you're providing an objective summary, say for instance, the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass. When you're giving me an objective summary, you're not going to tell me what you think happened or how you feel things should have happened. You're going to tell me strictly factual. When we say objective, always think factual summary. You're going to give me only the facts of what really took place in the text. Now, this anchor chart for RL72 should look quite familiar to you because we have one of these in class. So we have theme versus main idea or central idea. Main idea and central idea are the same thing. Remember, if you see main idea and central idea, they are the same thing. So theme is the lesson or the message that the text is teaching. Main idea is what the story is mostly or mainly about. Theme. What theme is not? It is not a topic. Theme is not, well, it's about gun violence or it's about love. That is not a theme. That is a topic. Theme and topic are not the same. Theme is the lesson or message that the text is trying to teach you. So for example, in A Long Walk to Water, examples of things that we talked about from that text are never give up. Salvo went through a lot within his story, but throughout everything, he never gave up on his end goal to get to free, safe areas. 2, family is everything. Salvo kept his family in mind through everything that he did. He looked for his uncle for protection. His uncle provided that protection. He looked to his family for love. That family provided that love, and Salvo also gave it back, and that helped him throughout his journey to get through and survive. So then you have 3, education is important. Throughout the entire novel, Salvo prided his education. His family prided having good education. In order for him to come to the United States, he had to learn how to read English. Number 4, no matter what life throws at you, always push through and persevere. Now, we can relate to this right now with this pandemic going on with the coronavirus. Throughout everything that is going on, we are persevering with this virtual video, and we are persevering through and doing our lessons. I hope that you're doing your lessons. So these are examples of themes. Now let's move over to main idea or central idea. That is what the story is mostly about. The big picture. The main idea, central idea is the big picture. So for example, in A Long Walk to Water, what was that story mostly about? If someone was to tell you, what's the main idea of Long Walk to Water? What is it mostly about? An example that you could tell them, this book tells the story of Salva's journey to survival during the Second Sudanese government war. Very simple, straight to the point, and it tells you what the text is mostly about. Try not to give too many details. Remember, it's going to be one sentence. that's going to tell you what the text is mostly about. Everything else that you provide will be key details. Our second standard, RL75, analyze how a drama or a poem's form or structure contributes to its meaning. Start that over. Analyze, break down how a drama, which would be a play, which would be a live act movie, film, play, things that are performed on stage. How a drama or poem's form or structure, focusing on how it is built and how it contributes, how it adds on, how it gives to the meaning of that poem or that drama. Now, when we talk about RL75 and we focus on form and structure, if you all think back to when we were doing the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, when we did that story chart to where we had our climax, we had our plot, we had our resolution, those things contribute to the form or structure. Now, when we're talking about poetry, that would be different things like the stanza, the rhyme scheme, the rhyme pattern. Why are certain things isolated? Why are certain lines repeated? Think back to the slave ships that we did. The annotation in class with slave ships by Lucille Clifton. We paid attention to things that she repeated over and over again. References to religion, with God, with Jesus, those things that were prevalent throughout the entire poem. She kept repeating those things because it contributed here to its meaning. Also in poetry, certain lines are isolated. Remember, when we're reading poetry, they're not called paragraphs, so we call them stanzas. Different stanzas have groups of lines, but then you have a couple of lines that are singled out. The poet singled those lines out for a very specific reason, and again, it contributes to the overall meaning. But before you can tell me the overall meaning, you remember, you have to tell me primarily what the text is about. What is the central idea of it? Then you can move forward to analyzing and breaking down the poem, which we are going to do today.
So today's poem that we're going to be analyzing is How Do I Love Thee by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I do encourage you all to take notes because we're going to be analyzing and breaking this poem down. So starting off with the first line. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight. For the ends of being and ideal grace, I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. Love with a passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with a love I seem to lose. With my lost saints, I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death. Now, moving to RL75 when we're analyzing the structure and form of the poem. Here we see that the author has repeated several lines throughout the poem, I love thee. Now, when we think about form and structure contributing to meaning, first, what is the meaning of this poem? Why does the author keep saying these things over and over and over again? We can tell that the speaker in this poem is expressing their love for another person and showing them the ways in which they love them. Evidence that we can cite is in the first line. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. And then the poem goes in to tell us the ways in which the speaker loves the person that they're speaking to. So in order to contribute to that meaning and express that, the author keeps repeating those lines. I love thee. I love thee. To the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach. She's expressing how much she loves that one person by repeating those lines to get that message across. Now let's take a look at the rhyme scheme or rhyme patterns. Remember, in order to determine what the rhyme pattern is, you have to look at the last word in each line. So I have them color-coded per stanza. The first stanza, we have ways, height, sight, grace. Second stanza, days, candlelight, right, praise. Third stanza, use, faith, lose. And the last stanza, breath, choose, and death. Now that we've highlighted all of the end words of each line, there are two questions that I want you to answer either in an email
or on Class Dojo, I want you to explain to me what is the rhyme pattern for each stanza and what is the theme of this poem. And when you tell me the theme, cite evidence from the text to support your answer. You can either submit that to me in an email or through Class Dojo. I will be looking for those to come through sometime within the next week. Also, your assignments will also be given on IXL. IXL is where your lessons will be given. I will put that on Class Dojo in case you all are tuning out at the end of this message. But I want you all to answer those 2 questions, and I want you to get your IXL lessons done. Good work today. I look forward to seeing you all's progress in your work later. Thank you all for your hard work and for your patience, and I will talk to you all soon.